Hiro is always trying to figure out who is mass-producing the microbots. This film didn't need to include the opening bot fighting scene or the fight scene in the teleportation lab, as Hiro letting Baymax sacrifice himself at the end was completely unrelated to Hiro demanding that Baymax kill Callahan. The apparent theme is that you should always trust your friends to do the right thing. However, Callahan was their friend at the beginning. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Hiro. Every day he engaged in illegal bot fighting. One day, his brother Tadashi invites him to the robotics lab at the San Francisco Institute of Technology. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Hiro. Every day he worked at the robotics lab. One day, a fire breaks out in the showcase hall, killing Tadashi and Callahan. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Hiro. Every day he dwelled on Tadashi's death. One day, he discovers that someone is mass-producing his microbots. Because of that, he equips Baymax with karate capabilities, but his healthcare features end up saving everyone. Because of that, the team builds their own superhero suits and vows to track down the man in the kabuki mask. Until finally they track him to an abandoned Crytek teleportation lab. Because of that, they find out that Callahan is the man in the kabuki mask. Because of that, Hiro removes Baymax's healthcare chip and orders him to kill Callahan. Until finally, Honey Lemon reinserts Baymax's healthcare chip and Baymax shows Tadashi's test videos to Hiro. Because of that, Hiro apologizes to his friends and they restart the quest to catch Callahan. Because of that, they track Callahan to Crytek, where he opens the portal and the team discovers that his daughter Abigail is alive inside it. Until finally, Baymax has to sacrifice himself to save Hiro and Abigail, but then it turns out that Baymax removed his chip while remaining functional and without Hiro noticing and gave it to Hiro, completely subverting his sacrifice. Gogo, Wasabi, Honey Lemon, and Fred aren't really relevant to the main plot, since Hiro makes all of the important decisions on his own, including his decisions to go to the San Francisco Institute of Technology, build the microbots, track the man in the kabuki mask, modify Baymax, remove Baymax's healthcare chip, and rescue Abigail. Hiro has to use Baymax to fight against the man in the kabuki mask, however that is never presented as difficult or challenging for Hiro. Hiro discovers Baymax's healthcare chip in his closed fist. In addition to ignoring how Baymax removed the chip while remaining functional and without Hiro noticing, it makes his sacrifice meaningless as Hiro can pretend it never happened. The story was already finished when it was written as a Marvel comic. It is never explained why Callahan went to the abandoned Crytek lab. This film is pulled apart from the original Marvel comic that it is based on. Initially, Baymax was going to be introduced much later in the film, but this was changed because it would impact Baymax's relationship with Hiro. This film is very different from the original comic that it was based on, and was changed to focus more on the relationship between Hiro and Baymax. Hiro doesn't have any strong opinions, as he always thinks that Callahan is bad and that Baymax is more than a tool. This film was not an original story, and there are countless animated films that involve two characters becoming best friends and then having to leave each other at the end. It is perfectly reasonable for Hiro to be sad about Tadashi's sacrifice being for nothing and about Baymax sacrificing himself, since Hiro doesn't know what Baymax actually did. All that Callahan wants is revenge on Cray for apparently killing his daughter. While this isn't a good thing, it means that Callahan doesn't want to harm Hiro, Baymax, or any of the other main characters. Also, Cray was never a friend of the main characters, to the point where they suspected that he was the man in the kabuki mask before finding out that it was Callahan. Also, there is a scene where Hiro explains that he and Callahan wanted the same thing, yet Callahan is not redeemed, and his entire villainous motivation is solved simply by finding out that Abigail survived. This film was loosely based on a very obscure Marvel comic from 1998, and Marvel was fully supportive of and partially involved in the film's production. There is no reason that Baymax has to deactivate before firing the Rocket Fist and saving Hiro and Abigail. It sure is convenient that Baymax had a scanner that could scan the entire city for a specific person. This scanner is by far the most advanced piece of technology that Baymax has, but it is only used or mentioned once. This film has the building block of the main character having a robot best friend, only Baymax's design is very unique for robots in film. The conversations between Hiro and Baymax very clearly establish Hiro's feelings and emotions. Hiro is accepted into the robotics lab, Tadashi is killed, it turns out that Callahan has been mass-producing the microbots and seeking revenge on Cray, and Baymax ends up sacrificing himself. Also, the rest of the team shows up.